back. We're back again. Sorry. We know that all of you are sick of looking at us. We're up to 21 subscribers, though.
People actually watch our show.
I know. It's amazing, isn't it? It makes us feel so special. All right. So there's a lot to go over this week. There's a lot of NFL this week. Because we could pretty much go through week 2 and 3 of the preseason. Because at the time of recording this, there's one preseason game left to play, and that is Houston-New Orleans. So we can go over all of week 2 and all of week 3, which we're probably going to do this week. And there are a few little pieces of news here and there to go over before we get there, of non-NFL news. So we're going to start there. And the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest non-NFL story that has come out this week, Austin Matthews has signed a 4-year deal that will keep him in Toronto. I want to say it's 4 years, and I want to say it's 13 a year. Something
I don't remember
that. But yes, he is going to be a Toronto Maple Leaf for the next 4 years. So that has been taken care of. That was a big, okay, they brought in this new GM. How are they gonna handle this? Because, Matthews had been negotiating up until that point with the former GM, who is now in Pittsburgh. And nope, 4 years, $13.25 million a season, $53 million over 4 years. Which does surpass Nathan McKinnon, who is averaging 12.6 on an 8-year contract with Colorado. Now, the reason this is good is because it is expected within the next couple of years for the cap to take a massive shoot upward. So this may look like a great deal for the Leafs in a couple of years, and it allows Matthews, when he is ready to enter another prime era, the cap will be a lot higher. He'll be able to get out from under the contract that he's currently in quicker and back into the market where he can make even more potential money when the cap is much higher up. So he's doing the team a solid. The team's doing him a solid. All around, I think this is a good deal for both sides. I think it's pretty good. I'm fairly overall happy with how that all played out. That was one of the big tests, though, for the new GM. Was how are they going to handle that? Now, other news. Small pieces here and there. Tests have revealed that Bronny James, LeBron's son, has a congenital heart defect. But it is treatable. So he will be able to return to playing basketball with no risk to him.
That's good.
That's good. I agree. I'm very happy that he'll be able to continue doing something that he enjoys doing. And France got bounced out of the World Cup of Hoops with loss to Latvia.
Okay.
I believe there was some football news, soccer, and I believe it was Kylian Mbappe has come to an agreement again, finally, to extend with PSG. Yeah.
Okay.
We all knew it was eventually going to happen. He really wanted to go to Spain. I think Real Madrid or something.
Probably
Spain.
Real Madrid.
I know there was another team he really wanted to go to, but eventually they weren't willing to. PSG weren't willing to let him go. There was a whole bunch of other things going on. Finally, he seems to have come to an agreement again with PSG to stay there.
Man, I'm not surprised they have so much goddamn money.
Both Real Madrid and PSG do, but it has to do with how the contracts are written and everything else. I don't remember. I think it's silly, but that's just me. Okay. Shohei Ohtani will not pitch again this season. They believe he has a torn ligament
Ooh.
or a partially torn ligament in his throwing arm, but he's still DHing. He's declined imaging, but the thought is that he has some sort of issue in his elbow, I believe. It's either elbow or shoulder.
Gotcha.
Either way, he is not going to pitch again this season, and it's going to be interesting to see how that affects his market going forward and the contract price he's going to be able to command. So that's going to be, at the very least, kind of unique how it's all going.
Fair.
Yeah. Okay, outside of that, there's not really much else to talk about in the MLB. However, just a real quick rundown of the standings because we are coming to the end of the season. So let's talk ins and outs. So, currently, when you're looking at it, leading the pack far and away in the AL is Tampa Bay. They're at 80 and 52. They're followed by Texas at 73 and 57, Houston at 74 and 58, Toronto at 71 and 60, Boston at 69 and 62. So what you got to look at is who are your leaders in each division. Baltimore leads the East, 81 and 49. Minnesota leads the Central. They're going to be in. They're at 68 and 63, but Cleveland is only 6 games back. Seattle leads their division over Texas, 74 and 56. But both Houston and Texas are just a game back. That's going to be, and LA's pretty much out of it. And Oakland's already been eliminated. Which we kind of
I'm not
expected.
surprised by that.
Yeah, they're 38 and 93. Even Kansas City hasn't been eliminated yet. Despite being 27 and a half games back. In fact, no other team is currently eliminated from playoff contention.
I mean, I'm not shocked, but still.
In the National League, Atlanta leads the East, 84 and 44. Milwaukee leads the Central, 73 and 57. And the Dodgers currently lead the West, 80 and 49. Out of all of them are pretty secure, except with the possibility of the Central. Milwaukee has both the Cubbies at 69 and 61, 4 games back, and the Reds at 68 and 63, 5.5 back, nipping at their heels. And that's the closest anybody is in any of those games, because Philly is 13 games back of Atlanta. Yeah, you're not going to catch Atlanta, buddy. And Arizona is 12.5 games back of the Dodgers.
Fair enough.
Also in baseball news, there was one other piece of baseball news, and that is I believe he was a Cy Young winner and an World Series MVP, Steven Strasburg has announced his retirement. I don't think he's pitched since 2022. After Washington's run to the World Series, injuries seemed to catch up with him, and he kind of tumbled downwards. And that's okay. It happens. But he does have a World Series ring to his name, so I'm not going to besmirch him. That's a pretty good little feat. All right.
Fair enough.
Now we get to talk about the news that everybody's been waiting for us to talk about. NFL news.
Okay.
There's quite a bit of it, too.
There always
So
is.
let's start with the 2 big stories. First, Josh Jacobs has agreed to end his holdout. He is coming back to Vegas. They have a reworked deal worth 12, possibly up to 12 million for a year. Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. So he is back, not on the franchise tag. He will be paid a decent amount of money. He has incentives. He has protections in his contract, etc. More power to him. So he is coming back. Vegas will not be without their star running back for the season. I thought he was going to hold out all season. It is obvious he is not going to do that. Everything is fine. On the flip side, the Colts have given JT permission to seek a trade.
Mm-hmm.
Now, supposedly, 6 teams already inquired, and 2 of them made serious, substantial offers. Apparently, the asking price is a first-round pick next year, or a package of picks and players that would equal out to a first-round pick next year.
Mm-hmm.
So, apparently, the 2 names that are bubbling to the top most frequently are Buffalo and Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them looking at trying to get JT. I think either one of those teams would be magnificent to get him. I think it would really help them out. Minnesota has been mentioned, but I don't know that they want to give up their first-round pick and potentially maybe a little more because their pick may be lower.
Mm-hmm.
Especially not after signing Madison. And
I've been letting Cook walk again.
Yeah, and then he could walk at the end of the year. If he doesn't want to be in Minnesota. That's the big question, is would he want to play? Because he played at Wisconsin, so I think he's from the area.
Yeah, the big thing is I just don't think Minnesota has the capital that they want to give to him to make it work. And if they really wanted to keep a potential stud at running back, they would have just kept Cook around, right? So they obviously didn't because they're looking to pay, JJ. JJ's going to get a big payday.
Actually.
Okay. I mean, JJ's going to get a big payday. I don't think they can bring on another person unless Kirk absolutely walks. And I think they want to hold money off just in case they think they need to re-sign Kirk for another year.
I 100% agree with you, which is why... And you still got the thing that we're going to talk about in a minute here, which is TJ.
Mm-hmm. Which, that's an issue at the moment.
Small one, but yes, it is an issue. And we'll talk about it here in a minute. But no, so JT, Jonathan Taylor, has been given permission to go ahead and seek a trade. There are apparently 2 teams, and the Dolphins are apparently one of them, that are in on this, that are attempting to pry him free. I do believe there is a hard deadline coming up on that, though. I don't remember what it is. I remember I heard that the Colts had put a hard date on dealing him.
Probably before the season starts, I imagine.
I do know that it is that.
Because they need to know if they need to go out and pick somebody up for the season, I assume.
I assume so, yes.
Not like there's a lot of options at the moment.
No, but there are still some.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. All right, let's do it this way. All right. It's Tuesday.
So that's coming up pretty quick.
Yep. It's Tuesday upcoming here. They intend to have him done by then. That's when they want to have it finished. Because, let's see here. Yep. Tuesday is the day they're going to make a decision one way or the other, apparently. If there is no deal that they like by Tuesday, then they will keep Taylor. But they do intend to put a pin on it on Tuesday. So that is coming up. So we should know sometime this coming week in a couple of days here exactly where he's going, and I think that'll be interesting. So, now, we mentioned TJ. I think we should probably talk about that a little bit. So, TJ Hawkinson is not holding out. He is continuing to play for the Vikings. However, he has stated that the extension that he wants from the Vikings, he wants to reset the market for quarterbacks with his next deal. Or not quarterbacks, tight ends.
There you go.
Thank you. He wants to reset the market for tight ends with his next deal. I don't know that the Vikings are willing to do that. Now,
I know they're gonna reset probably the fucking wide receiver space, but outside of that,
yeah,
here's my problem with that: is TJ is a really good tight end. Is he as good as Travis Kelce? Is he as good as
who's the kid from the Niners?
George Kittle? Like, when you hear those names and you go, I want to reset. Motherfucker, you aren't as good as the other two guys. What makes you think you can ask for that? I hate to say it, you aren't as good as those guys. Prove it to me this year, and then maybe we'll talk.
Yeah, and I think the other problem is that he is a pretty good tight end. He is a great tight end, in fact.
Yeah.
But the Vikings could go with pretty good. Munt and what's the dude?
Who was the other guy that looked like he was catching passes that was looking really good? Yeah.
I love his name, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
There was two of them that were like pretty good behind him. That I was like, these guys can easily
because one
pick up
is
the slack.
Johnny Munt.
Yeah.
Whom I love. I love his name.
I forget who the other one was.
Isn't it? Hold on. I will remember here in a minute. Because I will look it up. Because I will see his name and go, that's who it was. Muse. Nick Muse.
Oh yeah, Nick Muse, yep.
Muse. But yeah, no. So I am utterly unworried about having him walk. Like, would I want to keep him? Absolutely, but it's gonna have to be at a price that makes sense. There's also Oliver, Josh Oliver, and Ben Sims, and Colin Thompson. But it's Munt and Muse were the two I was thinking of. So, thinking about it like that, I don't... Is TJ Hawkinson a great tight end? Yes. Is he elite? No, I don't think so. He doesn't match up with guys like Kittle or Kelsey or anything like that, sadly. I think both of those guys are obviously the top tier tight ends, primo tight ends in the league right now.
If he shows up this year and all of a sudden bangs out and he all of a sudden ends up being a Travis Kelce or something like that, then you're like, okay, maybe. But the problem is, I just don't think he is.
To be honest with you, I would put him more in the Darren Waller category of really talented, really good, but he's never going to be that next level.
I don't think so either. I'm pretty sure at this point that we're gonna have him for this year, and he's gonna either get traded by us because we're gonna be like, we just don't want to deal with that shit. Get the fuck out. Like,
I could see that coming. I would love to see him get a halfway decent deal and stick around in Minnesota, but I just don't know if it's.
But if he wants to truly reset the market space, then it's gonna be like, no, you have to go then.
Yeah,
like, we can't.
100%.
We're not, because we're gonna pay JJ that. You can't also ask for that. Like, just the way it is.
A lot of money that we're gonna save by getting rid of
the only way that happens is if the Vikings believe Jaron Hall is the next guy right away and they can move Kirk, or just like Kirk Walk, I should say, because then that will free up enough cap space where they could afford to do that if they feel it's necessary.
Exactly.
But so outside of that, I don't think that's going to happen.
No, and I don't even know if that would happen. We're going to have to really see how the season goes.
Yeah.
And that'll tell us, I think, a lot more. So we'll talk about the game because there were some positive steps for a lot of people in the preseasons. So covering it all right now, covering what we can cover. those are the big pieces of news. Let's cover some games, because there's a lot of preseason BS we have to get through. First off, none of the rookies looked really all that great. Well, none of the rookie quarterbacks, the big three, looked particularly great in week 2.
No. And to be fair, I almost want to not just talk about week 2 and just go to week 3, because week 2 was, quite frankly, a dumpster fire across all boards.
Oh my God, it was
there was
horrible.
only some players where I went, hey, they look pretty good, but most players looked pretty just same as week 1. Like, it wasn't. It's almost just better just go straight to week 3 almost. In some cases,
the only upswings for specific people in week 2.
Zach Wilson still looked okay.
Zach Wilson looked okay. Malik Willis did not look horrible in week 2.
Continued that trend, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he did run for 91 yards against the Vikings, and he passed for another 85.
Yeah.
He threw a touchdown and an interception, but still, that was not bad at all.
No,
in
not
any
bad.
shape
Not bad.
or message of the word. Pickett still looked really good for the limited action he saw. Now, Richardson and Fields both set out.
He didn't play week 2. He played in week 3. He did
play week 3, and he looked better in week 3. Not great.
Fields,
but better.
Fields week 3 was something.
Yeah, and that's the problem, as you mentioned. It's going to be consistency.
Yep.
Aiden O'Connell looked really good in week 2.
He still looked good, yeah.
163 yards and 2 touchdowns. So I was pretty happy about that. Sadly, week 2 did not repeat the same success. Well, it wasn't horrible, but it did not repeat the same success for Stetson Bennett that he had the previous week. He did throw for 142 yards, and he went 15 of 24. But he also threw a pick, and a really bad one at that.
It's going to happen, though.
Yeah, but he's a rookie, so nobody was,
exactly. It's going to happen.
Super, surprised at that. Sam Howell looked really good in week 2.
He looked good in week 2, yeah, he did.
And he earned himself the starting job. So
off of that, yeah.
All of that stuff that we said about Sam Howell, about how he may not be the man, I'm going to have to eat that.
Well, I thought that he could take it, but I wasn't sure how good he was going to be. He's definitely better than I expected. As far as he could stay that way, that's a whole different question.
Jameis Winston looked pretty good.
Jameis Winston looked all right. Yep.
So did Jake Haener.
Mm-hmm.
In week 2. 11 of 17, 118 yards. I mean, I've seen worse.
Most people have.
We've seen a lot worse from a lot of people. Now, I will say we did miss one other piece of news before we move on with scores. We should probably talk about it, because it isn't huge, but it's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Lance is no longer a member of the San Francisco 49ers. He was traded to the Dallas Cowboys for a 4th-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
That trade up from the Niners doesn't look so good anymore.
One day
I will put that through a trade dissection filter, and we'll look at that and just, Frisco, what did you do?
By the way, Sean Clifford still looked good. Just had to point that out.
Yeah.
I'm just pointing out from last time, you're like, I don't know if he's going to be... Just saying. He still looked good.
DTR also still looks pretty good.
Still look good. Yep.
Still looked pretty good. I'm liking DTR. Now, let's talk week 3, because week 3 is where the rubber is meeting the road.
That's when things actually fucking happen, finally.
Yeah. So, Bryce Young actually looked pretty decent in week 3.
Did look pretty decent, yeah.
His stat line was actually halfway okay, that's palatable. You know? Looking at his stat line, he went 7 of 12 for 73 yards and a touchdown, took 1 sack for 7 yards. He also rushed 3 times for 21 yards. Mm-hmm. I'll take that. I kind of like that. That's okay. You can work with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not great, but you can work with that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was usable, if nothing else. So Pickett, 4 of 4, 86 yards.
He's ready to go.
Yeah, Pickett's ready to go.
It's kind of like that's kind of like asking how is Aaron Rodgers doing. He's ready to go.
Yeah, and George Pickens, 1 catch for 35 yards. He's ready to go.
He's ready to go.
The Steelers
Trevor Lawrence.
The Steelers are ready to rip some people apart this year.
Trevor Lawrence looked fucking good. That kid's ready to go.
He's ready to go too. Now, surprisingly, another person that's ready to go is Malik Willis.
Yeah, legit. I was surprised by that. He looked
15
really
20,
good week 3.
15 of 20 for 211 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 2 sacks. However, he also took off 8 times for 17 yards.
Yeah.
He actually was pretty accurate.
Yeah, he had a couple unfortunate misreads with the interceptions, but overall, like, he looked, compared to what you saw of him last year.
Oh, yeah.
He looks vastly improved.
He looked vastly improved. He looked really good. I was pretty happy with what I saw out of him this week. So, moving along, Brock Purdy, 5 of 9, 73 yards. Okay, not too bad.
He gave you what you kind of expected, more or less, which is fairly accurate. He can sling
touchdown run.
He can sling it on occasion, but you expect him to be more of the cold calculating Duncan Dodd. You know, he's just gonna dump it on you.
Now, surprisingly,
he'll take the 5 yards here and there.
Sam Darnold, 6 of 11, 89 yards and a touchdown.
Sam Darnold, even week 2, looked improved. Like, he looks way better in this system than any system he's played in so far.
Yeah, I'm actually happy to see him taking the steps forward that he's taking. I think they've got a pretty good backup.
Which is what, honestly, apparently, like, from everything I heard, like, the reason why they moved off of Lance is that they were unimpressed with preseason, and they saw Darnold take the steps forward.
Lance wasn't.
And Lance isn't. Darnold's clearly overtaken him on the depth chart. It's time to move off of Lance.
Yep, 100%. I agree with everything they've said there. Now, Jaren Hall. We'll save this.
We'll save this for later. We have thoughts.
Josh Allen, 5 of 7, 49 yards. I think he's ready to go.
He did what you expected.
He did exactly what you expected. He didn't rush, though.
No, not really.
But he did get out there and play. Now, Justin Fields, on the other hand.
He was on the field.
2 of 6. Those 2 catches went for 51 yards, and he rushed 3 times for 16 yards. Was he the worst thing ever? No. He's exactly what you expect, though. He's going to throw it deep and take dumb chances and get a lot of yardage on stupid crap and make amazing plays with his athletic legs. The problem is I don't think he can consistently do that enough. If he can find his consistency, I think he could be really dangerous.
Oh, absolutely. He could be really, really good, but, like, I just wish he wouldn't make as many deep ball throws that he does. Like, not that they're bad, but, like, bruh, like, they're giving you shortage, mid-yardage all the time. Take it. Take what they give you. Don't force balls all the damn time.
Now, Deshaun Watson. 5 of 10, 92 yards and a touchdown.
Like, 5 of 10 sounds a little concerning, but if you saw the 5 that he did get, they were fucking good. They were fucking good.
DTR, 7 of 12 for 92 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Kellen Mond, 10 of 19 for 93 and an interception.
Outside the interception, that's actually better than I expected.
Yeah, but they also cut him. He's gone.
He is.
We kind of knew that was
I don't know if that's necessarily sad. I mean,
we kind of saw it coming, though.
I hate to say it, he's a bench player. He's always going to be on the bench. Like, he's second, third string best. Like, he just is.
Yes. Speaking of which, from the other side of that particular box score, we did not at all see any in week 3 of my homeboy.
I mean, that's not surprising.
No, it's not. Blaine Gabbert, on the other hand, 10 of 18,
Plenty of him.
169 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception.
Good enough for second. Why not?
Why not? He'll take that. Everybody will take that. Going through more games here. Drew Lock. Drew Lock actually had a pretty good preseason.
He surprisingly has made improvement, for sure.
16 of 25 for 150 yards and a touchdown this week. You know what?
Now, I don't know if that's, because Drew Lock is definitely younger than Geno. I'm wondering if they're slowly trying to make Drew the next guy when Geno does
I
go
would think
inevitably.
that's what they're going to do. If
seems
I
like
were
that's
the
kind of what they're
Seahawks,
building.
Yeah. They're building him. Speaking of which, Jordan Love, 9 of 15 for 63 yards and a touchdown.
Looked okay. Looked
Alex
pretty decent.
McGough, 4 of 5 for 69 yards.
Looked pretty decent.
Sean Clifford, 8 of 12 for 46 yards.
Pretty decent, actually.
Also took off 4 times for 9 yards.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Love took off 3 times for 21 yards.
Yeah, he had a couple big ones.
Yeah. So,
also, I heard that was it Stidham for Denver went ham yesterday?
I believe so. Yeah. We'll get there.
We'll get there. Okay.
We'll get there. We also need to talk about the big thing that happened when New York and New Jersey played, or New Jersey and New Jersey.
Fair.
Because they're both New Jersey teams, let's be honest.
They are.
But, the Jets and the Giants did play.
Yes.
And Aaron Rodgers got his first action of the season, going 5 of 8 for 47 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
That
Aaron
looked
Rodgers
pretty
doing
doggone
Aaron
good.
Rodgers thing. Yep.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers did Aaron Rodgers things. Zach Wilson, though, 11 of 18 for 107 yards. You know what? Zach Wilson...
Yeah. Okay. It's time for your food. Yeah, I'll be out in a little bit.
Is he being a jerk again?
Apparently.
All right. Zach Wilson, on the other hand, has been playing really good. You can tell that he's taken some steps forward this offseason.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think when Aaron does finally retire again, I think Zach is in a great position to take over the Jets. I think that if he can keep this kind of growth up, yeah, I think it'll be really good for him.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Tim Boyle, 9 of 11 for 107 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That's actually surprising.
So, yep. Overall, I think they looked really good. I think, and then looking over at the stats for the Giants, we did not see any of Danny Dimes.
No.
But we expected that. But what I've seen from him this preseason, he's looked really good.
He's looked pretty decent, yeah.
He's looked pretty good, yes. He has indeed. Tommy DeVito, 19 of 29, 210 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. I'd say he's probably going to be the starter, or not the starter, the backup.
The second.
Yeah, I think he's going to win I think he's won that backup job. Checking out the Bengals and the Commanders. We did not see any of Joe Burrow, but we did not expect
surprising.
Not surprising at all.
He's still nursing that injury.
Yeah, he's still nursing that injury. It does look like he could be back before we think he could, though.
They they originally thought he was going to be back before week 1, so it sounds like that's still kind of the plan, is that he's going to be back for week 1.
Washington has an interesting choice to make now, though. Because they've obviously going to start Sam Howell.
Yes.
But
Brissett played really good. I mean, at least the parts that I saw looked good.
Yeah, he's not been horrible. But they've also got Jake Fromm that's played really well.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see any from, so at the time that I was
So
watching, I didn't watch
Brissett
the whole
so
thing.
far this season has got 218 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
He is overall 23 of 36. And then if you look at Jake Fromm last game went 13 of 18 for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. And on this season so far, he's 28 of 41 for 261 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception.
Mm-hmm.
He's looked pretty good. He's taken some steps forward. I think Howell is definitely the guy there right now. But what do you do between Fromm and Brissett now? Because you just brought in Brissett.
Brissett's probably going to stay the backup just because of the veteran status.
I agree.
Unless Fromm overlaps him within the next couple of months here, I think Brissett most likely stays as, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a pretty good thought pattern on your process on that. I think that Brissett's going to be the backup. Sadly, I like Fromm. I think Fromm has played incredibly well so far this season. But yeah. Alrighty, moving on down the list. We did get to see the Ravens play. We did not see any this preseason of the most electric player on the football field. So I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm sure everything will be all right with him. We also did not see their new wide receiver yet.
True, we haven't.
We have not. I don't even know if we've seen Flowers.
I think he was. I thought I saw him the first week, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, potentially. Now, on the flip side of that, Baker, 6 of 6, 43 yards and a touchdown. I gotta look, because this season he has 106 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he's a total of 14 of 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He legitimately looks like he's kind of ready to go, which is surprising. Like he
looks like whatever he needed to find this offseason, he found.
Yeah.
Trask looked pretty good too. 19 of 31 for 192 yards and a touchdown. After that really garbage first week, Trask has pulled himself out of the dumpster and he looks like a legit backup.
Mm-hmm.
So the Buccaneers, I think, are in a great place. And you have to remember that that Baker is doing that, and the only one of his primary receivers he has on the field is Goodwin.
True.
When he gets everybody on that field, I think he's going to be dangerous this year.
Probably.
I think he's going to be a lot better than people think he's going to be. And that's going to be a fun division. The NFC South looks like it's going to be fun this year. Like last year, it was just straight depressing. But this year, with the new rookie, with Bryce Young coming in, and then you've got Bijan Robinson, and then they've got, the retooled look over in New Orleans, and you've got Baker looking like he wants to ball out in Tampa. That's going to be a fun division to watch. I don't know how to think about it.
You motherfucker! Sorry. My draft just started, and the pick right before me, somebody picked Anthony Richardson. Right fucking before me. So you know what? I'm getting Quentin fucking Johnson. Fuck you, boys. Quentin Johnston, yeah. From, he was TCU, right?
TCU.
Yep. It was going to be him or Richardson I was going to pick, so. I got the wide receiver I wanted.
Well, there you go.
I was so going to pick Richardson if he was still there. I'm like, oh, he's still there. He's still there. 8 picks in. No fucking way. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Looking at the Dolphins, Tua, 4 of 6, 67 yards. Not horrible.
Nice, yeah.
Not horrible. I think he could be all right. On the other side of that, Trevor Lawrence, 8 of 10 for 92 yards. He's ready to go.
Absolutely, Trevor Lawrence is ready to go.
Trevor Lawrence is ready to go.
Absolutely ready to go.
He's ready to rip shit apart and be Trevor Lawrence. I don't
Absolutely.
think there's a question about that. And again, Aiden O'Connell. I'm going to keep bringing that name up. 17 of 26, 178 yards.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? If I was Las Vegas, I think that's my quarterback of the future right there. If Jimmy
You think so?
G, oh, absolutely.
Okay.
If Jimmy G got hurt, that'd be the guy I'd throw in. He's looked amazing this preseason. He's looked really, really good. I've been very impressed with how quietly he's just gone about his business. Let me give you his preseason stats. I know it's preseason, but like so that you can understand where my mind is at when it comes to a guy like Aiden O'Connell. Let's see here. Okay, they're not going to have a thing. His overall preseason stats, 482 yards, 3 touchdowns. No interceptions.
Nice.
I mean, that is not bad stats for a rook.
No, it's not.
He's played really, really well. Now, on the other side of the field, this is the one that made me depressed. Because apparently, the guy who was actually calling the plays was Dak.
Really?
They let Dak have a headset.
Why?
Why not? It's the preseason. Who cares?
Fair enough, I guess. Fair enough.
And he managed to get Will Greer to be 29 of 35 for 305 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Well, I don't know if we want to say it was entirely him, because Greer still has to throw those balls.
Won the game, and then got cut by the Dallas Cowboys when they traded for Trey Lance.
Dude, that's rude. I'm not going to lie. That's pretty rude.
Everybody was, like, even Dak at the end was like, I didn't know that was coming. I feel bad.
Yeah, for real. Like, dude, like, especially if you light it up, too. Like, come on. That guy deserves to be somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, he's good enough to back up somebody.
Speaking about what we were just talking about, couple of guys absolutely tore it up this week.
Okay, I got a question for you. I'm on my pick now.
Okay.
I got 2 options on my mind.
Okay.
Stroud is still on the board. I could go Stroud. Or my other option is I was thinking going Tank Dell for wide receiver. What you think?
Who are your quarterbacks?
Right now I have Joe Burrow and Ritter as my backup.
Ritter? Ew.
Yeah, Atlanta, yeah.
Ew. Oh, Ritter.
Desmond Ritter, yeah. 20 seconds. I mean, you know my wide receiver room's lacking. Maybe I go Tank Dell.
Dell.
Yeah, I'll go Tank Dell.
Go Tank Dell.
Dalton Kincaid just got taken. I figured he was going to get taken soon, though.
Yep.
Anyways.
All right. So, as we mentioned, 2 quarterbacks balled the hell out. Jarrett Stidham.
17... Like, legit.
Huh?
Played way better than I thought he was going to.
17 of 28, 236 yards and a touchdown the last game against the Rams.
Yeah, he went off.
And Ben DiNucci, 11 of 15 for 117 yards and a touchdown.
That one I did not expect.
Also, DiNucci took off 4 times for 22 yards. Stidham's preseason numbers. 23 of 45 for 366 and a touchdown. I mean, that isn't bad at all.
No, it's not.
I think Stidham, when Russ is done, I think someone should take a good hard look at Stidham as a starter. I think that dude's got potential.
I agree.
And sadly, I think the Stetson Bennett train has come to a complete and utter halt in Los Angeles already. As last game, 4 of 9 for 14 yards and 2 interceptions. He was a body. He was on the field. But that's about the best I can say about him.
Pretty much.
Yeah. None of their quarterbacks looked very good last game, though. So I don't know if that was because they started a bunch of, like, really small, like, old, like the third string lines and stuff like that. But, yeah. Now, speaking of which, there's one more game that we haven't talked about other than the Vikings game. And we kind of should talk about it. Anthony Richardson, 6 of 17 for 78 yards, 5 rushes for 38 yards. You know what?
Not bad, but I am a little worried about that. The fact that he only made so many passes and compared to so many attempts. Like, that does worry me slightly.
Yeah, if you look at his stats so far, they are not spectacular. His completion percentage is 35.3% this preseason.
That makes me think this first year is going to be real rough.
I would agree with you. Minshew didn't look bad. 9 of 11 for 102 yards and a touchdown.
If it gets bad enough.
Yep, there you go. You've got a guy back there that can do that. But no, I think you're going to see some brilliant moments out of Richardson, and I think you're going to see some trash. And I don't know that there's much of an in-between on that. As much as we would like there to be, I don't think there's going to be. Now, let's talk about that Vikings game.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's start with Clayton Tune for Arizona, as he was 9 of 12 for 85 yards. That was not horrible. David Blau was 11 of 22 for 93 yards and a touchdown. Overall, not bad for either one of them. Tune has actually looked pretty good this preseason. He's completed 75% of his passes, or he did last game. He is currently at 218 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. For a rookie. That, you know what? That's pretty good. I don't know if they're going to start him. I have a feeling Colt McCoy is going to be the starter this year. And there is news leaking out of Arizona that they do not expect Murray to be back this season.
Yeah, which we'll see on that, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that's... I think Arizona's angling for that first overall pick, and then they're going to trade it.
Probably.
And a lot of people say they should trade Murray, but I don't think they're going to, because Murray's contract is so unwieldy. It would be really hard to trade Murray's contract. And you already have a known commodity in Murray, rather than trying to start all over again with another quarterback. I say you've got Murray, you've got the large extension. Let's work with him. They'll trade that magic beans, and they'll get a bunch of stuff, because they've already got a bunch of stuff already, because they've already got Houston's first round pick this year. I believe Houston has another first-round pick this upcoming season. I believe they have that from Cleveland. But they've got Houston's first-round pick this year. So they have 2 firsts this year. So they can afford, if theirs is the first overall pick, to trade out, still have 2 firsts, and get a bevy of other picks in the future. So I think that's the route they're going down. Now, Jaren Hall. 16 of 27, 178 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Sacked 6 times for 34 yards, but also rushed 6 times for 21 yards. This was the first game where I've gone, okay, whatever they saw, I see it. I see it now. Whatever it was that caused them to draft Jaren Hall in the first place, I see it now. That was the first game where he's looked really comfortable throwing the ball and doing all the things that he did. Is that... Oh, dear God, I hope it is. That would be hilarious. Probably is. I don't think it's his rookie year, though. No, it's his 3rd season. But that's funny. Leading receiver for the Vikings last game, Blake Prohl.
Yeah, Blake Brill.
Which I believe is the son of Ricky Prohl.
I think it is. Yeah.
Which I just find hilarious.
With my last pick, should I go with Aiden O'Connell or Jaron Hall? Like, obviously, either one's going to be like a long, like, it isn't like a immediate, they're going to do something now kind of thing.
O'Connell. I think he has.
What do you think O'Connell better?
I think he'll start before Hall will. And I think he has got better upside. Don't get it wrong. As we were just mentioning, Jaron Hall is going to be a pretty good player, and I think the Vikings have long-term plans for him, but I don't know if they're next season. Aiden O'Connell could be as soon as next season, the way he's been playing.
It's true.
Let's see here. Yep, he is the son of Ricky Prohl.
He is. Okay, well, makes sense.
So yes, Blake Prohl played for East Carolina, is the son of Ricky Prohl, and was the Vikings. I hope he makes the roster. I'd like to have Ricky Prohl's kid on our roster. There's something about that makes me
I know, right?
But Jaron Hall actually came out, looked pretty good.
Looked pretty good.
This is the first game I saw where he had command of the football. Everything looked good. Everything looked pretty nice. Overall,
He had that 2-minute drill that looked really pretty at the end of the first half.
Drill. He only had a couple of passes where I went, "What are you doing? No, don't throw that!"
Yep.
And one of them was that interception, and I went, "Oh, dude, no!"
But the majority of it
of it was really good,
like,
but there were still a
yeah.
couple of those rookie mistakes where you just went, "Dude,
why'd you do that?" Yeah.
why? Stop, please."
Yeah.
But overall, yeah, I saw it this year. I saw it. I'm going to leave in the stuff with you drafting, by the way.
That's fine.
I don't care, because I love it. I think it's hilarious. I might even leave Mom in there, because I just don't want to chop it out, because I'm lazy.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Besides, people watch this for the bird content.
I mean, he's kind of hiding right now, but yeah, sure.
Yeah. I think he's mad that your mom put him back in here.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not going to come out.
Yeah, pretty much. You know what I'm probably going to do? I'm probably going to pick up O'Connell, and then I can probably try to get Jaron Hall in free agency and throw him on my taxi squad. I'll probably do that.
Yeah, that's what I would do. That sounds smart. All right. So, talking about all that, who do you think what player do you think impressed you the most this preseason?
The most this preseason. There's a lot of good players. The problem is I know I'm going to end up not... It's going to be hard not to... Like, I want to pick somebody on the defense just because I know there were some defensive players that played really, really well. But the problem is, it's hard not to...
Which offensive player impressed you the most this preseason? Doesn't have to be a rookie. Could be a veteran or somebody else who took steps forward that made you go, okay.
Offensive player. Let me think. One that either impressed or took the most steps forward. Let me think. Because there was quite a few players that made some strides.
There's a couple of big names that you could take.
Watson, it definitely looked to improve, but I don't know if I want to pick him just because it's Watson. Russell looked okay, but we haven't seen enough to really quantify if he's really improved enough for me to want to put him down. Let me think on this a little bit here. I'm trying to think of all the players that I've watched.
So I
will what?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna pick the guy that I didn't even know the name of until I watched him play, which was the Green Bay's new rookie, Sean Clifford. Because that guy,
okay, fair.
He legitimately impressed me. Considering the fact I didn't even know who he fucking was.
I am going to pick the obvious choice of Dorian Thompson-Robinson, DTR.
That's fair.
That's fair. As you know, when they picked him, I was the guy going, "Oh, that's a sleeper pick right there." I have been nothing but vocal for this guy since he came out. And I have been nothing but vocal about him and how good I think he could be.
He's still on my draft board. I just realized this.
You could totally take him, because I don't know that he's got a future starting now. But that dude has a lot of potential. He's not going to start for the Browns. I can tell you that. Not unless freaking, not unless their quarterback gets hurt.
Yeah, he's not. He's going to be permanently sitting behind. The problem is, as much as I want to pick DTR, is that the knowledge that he's going to be sitting for so long.
Yeah.
Like, there's...
No, 100%.
It doesn't make sense for me to pick him now.
O'Connell make more sense to be picked now. But I am still going to take DTR. DTR really impressed me. Shout out to Aiden O'Connell, who played way above what I think he did. And shout out to Zach Wilson for finally stepping up and stopping to be a little bitch.
I mean, fair.
Now, defensively, what player impressed you most this preseason?
Ooh, defensively, huh? That's tough.
You're thinking, aren't you?
I am.
I already have my answer. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first. I'm sorry, I was quickly looking up. I was quickly grabbing Jaren Hall before somebody else after the draft tried to pick him up. So I was like, no, I gotta get him first, god damn it.
Totally understand. So, for me, Ivan Pace Jr. from Minnesota.
You know, I was thinking about that because he did look really good.
He did, and in fact, they gave him the green dot in one of the games. They let him call the plays from the linebacker spot. I think he's going to make the final roster. He was a UDFA. I think he's going to be on the starting roster day one of the season. He's impressed me enough that I don't think he goes to the practice squad. I think they're going to put him on the main roster.
So many people...
Huh?
Sorry, so many people are all of a sudden just making roster move. Everyone that didn't get drafted, people are just going, pick. It's just funny seeing all of the notifications go off and me going, yeah, I got the one guy I needed, I'm fine. Because my roster actually looks pretty decent. I'm pretty happy with what I got. I still have 2 roster spots, and I need to decide if I want to go try to pick somebody up or not.
Anyway, so talking about that, I will take Ivan Pace Jr. I think as far as defenses go, I think that dude was everywhere. I think he makes the 53-man roster for the Vikings. I think he's going to be a guy to keep your eyeballs on for a lot of years.
You're probably right on that, actually. That's a hard choice trying to come up with. To be fair, I also did like Lewis Cine. Like the couple of times we've seen him, he's looked really good.
If you wanted to go with him, I would not be mad. There's also that kid from the Bengals that safety that damn near picked off the first pass of fucking Jordan Love's career.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Cine though, just because I
understand. You're a homer. I get it. I am too. That's why I went with Pace. To me, those 2 guys are the future rock of our defense. Cine.
I agree with that.
Cine and Pace. I think both of those guys are going to form a really good tandem coming up because Pace looks really good. If Carter can get a little bit bigger, because he's tall, but if he could put some muscle on, I think he's going to be a wrecking machine one day. He's not yet. I think he's got potential though. For the times I've seen him out there, he has potential. He just needs to bulk up a little bit. But Pace, I can't believe that guy went undrafted. The way I've watched him play, he just nose for the ball, always around. He's small, okay, and the dude's a beast. So people are going to regret passing on him. He's going to be a machine out there. But yeah, no, I was fairly impressed overall with all of that. I'm fairly happy. The preseason was pretty interesting. I think it was a fun preseason. Week 2 did kind of suck. Week 1 was interesting. Week 2 was pretty good. I think, if I'm gonna be honest, week 2 was kind of shitty. Week 3 was really fun. I'm very excited to see how the season plays out. Speaking of which, I think we should talk about it, don't you? Next week.
Yeah, probably should.
Next week, we are going to do our post-preseason power rankings for how we think teams are going to float out. We're actually going to rank them all 1 to 32 as to who we think the teams that have the best chances are. We will talk about all of it. And we're going to do something this year because we didn't get a chance to do it last year because we didn't start the podcast until like week 12 or something. 11 or 12?
I think so, yeah.
Somewhere in there. Back half of the season. I think it was post-trade deadline. But back half of the season. So this year, coming into the season, Chris and I are going to come up with... You want to do 5? You think 5
Let's
is good?
do 5.
Let's do 5.
Yeah.
We're going to do 5 preseason hot potatoes. And these are going to be for the season now. And we're going to revisit them at the end of the season and see how stupid and wrong we were. But these are going to be 5 spicy boys coming at you. We're going to attempt to divine things that we think could happen in season that we think are going to be worthwhile. I've already lost one of mine because it was going to be that Trey Lance will not finish the season as a 49er.
You already lost that.
I already lost that one. I can't have it anymore. Because it's true, but now I'm mad. Damn it!
I mean, it's fair.
It is fair. But outside of that, that's kind of the what we're going to do next week. And then we'll be getting into ready to go for week 1. Week 1. So, when does week 1 officially start?
Thursday, not next Thursday, but the Thursday after. I think it's the 7th. Yes, September 7th.
Okay, so we'll do the 1 to 32. I think we should also do week 1 picks next week.
Yeah, we could do that.
Right.
Absolutely.
There we go. So, our next week's show will be an official longer show again. We'll be back super long form probably. We'll do a 1 to 32 breakdown of where we think everybody's going to be. We will do 5 spicy boys of hot potato about the full season, and we will break down week 1 and give our predictions. And then, of course, post week 1, we will come back and we will look at all of that and go, we were dumbasses.
Right, exactly. I agree with that.
Because week 1 is always the one where you're just kind of going, After that, you get an established performance record. And you can start looking. But weeks 1 to 5, you're always kind of like, I don't know what's going on. After week 5, you can kind of get an idea of how teams are playing. And unless injury happens, you can kind of figure out who's got the edge. Mm-hmm. So, but 1 to 5 is going to be interesting, I think. So,
I agree.
All right. I don't have anything else. You got anything else?
Nope, just looking down at my draft board going, man, I think I did pretty good this year.
Well, congratulations to you. I will be doing a draft. I don't have a long-term league, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I sadly did not get invited into my brother's long-term league because it's with a bunch of people that he knows that I don't.
Heck, I only know about half of them.
Yeah, and so trying to put both of us in there, I think, would just be mean. We don't want to do that. Now, if we ever get enough followers who would have any interest, we got no problem doing a draft league with you guys, or a best ball league.
We also plan, and we're going to set up a best ball league for me, my brother, and just our family.
We'll keep you informed of how we do.
See how that goes. Yeah.
And then I'm going to draft a fantasy team coming up, so I will let everybody know how that goes. In the meantime, we hope that all of you had a good day. We hope that all of you had a good week. We hope that whatever you put your mind to, you did. If you like what we did here, give us a like, give us a subscribe. We are at 21 subscribers. I'd like to hit 50 this season if we could. I don't know that we will, but that would be awesome. I'd love to have 50 people. Half of 100? Pfft, yes, please. If we ever do hit triple digits, I'll probably faint. I can't imagine anybody caring enough about us for that.
See, all we have to do is pour more money into this. As in
broke.
any amount of money.
As in any amount of money.
Because I want you to know, $0 goes into the show.
Absolutely zero.
I would love to pay for like to get like banners to go across or down the sides to block.
Fiverr, we don't have the cash.
We just don't have the cash right now.
We don't have the cash.
I'm hoping with my new job, the money I'm making, hopefully I can start splurging a little bit more.
I've been looking at. I put in an increase for the VA. I would like to get that increase. If I get a good increase out of that, then I could get then I'll have extra. But
exactly, like
right now,
I want to be able to afford for certain things, but
the liquidity to properly pay for that, and both of us realize that
want to get a better webcam.
Well, stuff like that should be paid for.
Yes,
you shouldn't be bumming artwork off of people and saying it's for the exposure. People that do art need to be paid for their services.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. I wanted to put it out there that's how we feel about stuff like that. We definitely want to pay people for what they would do for us. So currently,
especially if we're gonna put it on our channel. So like, what I would love to do is have like when we're doing our picks for the week, I would love to have a banner made that we can put up above our heads that actually like looks decent and shows the team logos with the numbers and like.
I thought about
just something that looks cool.
I thought about trying to use team logos, but I'm not sure what is and isn't allowed for copyright.
I believe team logo helmets is completely okay if I remember right.
Yeah, but so what I've done is for ours I do header. I do headers, but they're in team colors. So it's the Vikings like in a team color thing.
Yeah, and then like I don't know, having that like on the top with like a gridiron. I don't know. There's a lot of things.
Like a gridiron.
I'd love to see it on a gridiron. I would love to see like I don't know how you have it set up right now since I haven't seen it in a little bit. But whenever we have our faces on screen, like if you see any other podcast, there's always. They have the name of the podcast up top, and then they have
do that. I would
all the colors, and like I would love to have something like that set up where our boxes sit in there.
Our faces up here, and
all around, stuff that just
stuff that we could do. We could put promo codes and crap down here if we ever got sponsored. But we don't have any of that because, frankly, I do all the editing, and I don't outside of cutting and simple graphics. I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. This is all OJT for me.
And I can barely do any image editing myself, so doing that stuff is not something I'm familiar with. So we'd have to pay somebody. That's what I'm saying.
Actual person that we could send these files to, that they could edit our files would be brilliant. If we use something other than Discord to actually do the recording, have actual cameras and actual microphones to actually do some.
I don't know. I mean, I got an actual microphone, but
I'm just using.
Yeah, you have a Blue Yeti. I have a Sennheiser. Like this is a real nice.
Yeah. No,
I don't
have an actual microphone. But
it's an XL or Shure,
something like that, so that we actually had something where we.
Yeah, I want to get a better camera and shit.
Yeah, I would love to get a better camera. I'm using literally a Logitech.
Honestly, the dream scenario would be like doing. Obviously, you've seen it, but if anybody who hasn't seen it has watched Bootleg Sports Podcast,
where we could
would be the dream team where we could actually like afford to meet up and do our overtakes and actually do some of that shit.
Yeah, but would be even when we can't, having something like what they do for those of you that don't know, 83 weeks or Into the Snake Pit or something to wrestle, where you've got a nice setup on both ends and they're doing like a nice video piece like that.
Exactly.
Speaking of wrestling, real quick before we log off, I do want to wish to the family of Wyndham Rotunda, rest in peace. They give them all their pieces. For those of you who don't know, that's Bray Wyatt. He passed away at the age of 36 from complications from COVID, which exacerbated a congenital heart issue.
Yeah, he always had the heart issue, and it just supposedly made it worse.
To do a comeback. He was finally free of all the COVID stuff that had happened to him. He was starting to get ready to make a comeback. They thought everything was getting better, and then he suffered a massive heart attack and passed away very, very recently. Other deaths very recently that have happened. Bob Barker has passed away at the age of 99, and a voice from our childhoods has also passed away. Arlene Sorkin has sadly passed away. For those of you that don't know, she was the voice of Harleen Quinzel for quite some period of time. So if you think of Harleen as having that Brooklyn-style accent, Mr. J, Puddin', that was all Arlene Sorkin, and she passed away a few days ago. So, again, kind of a sad time for that. They go in threes.
It always seems to happen
Always
that way,
goes
doesn't
in
it?
threes. Anyway, that all being said, we hope that everybody does have a good week. We do hope that if you like what we do, you subscribe, you give us a thumbs up. Again, we'd like to get to 50 sometime this season if we could. That would be great. We'd be ecstatic at that. Getting to 100 would be fantastic, but that's a pipe dream for another time. But getting us
Getting
to,
triple digits, that's
yeah, 50 would even make us.
that feels like
spectacularly
forever alive.
happy.
Oh no.
We hope that you all have another great week. We will see you back here for our full breakdown of week 1, for our full breakdown of the 1 to 32 power rankings and the 5 spicy potatoes coming at everybody next week. Everybody out there have a good time. We'll see you.